Hello everyone! Thank you so much for watching my video yesterday. It's really exciting for me to do this. Like I said, it's a little nerve-wracking, but I think that this is just super fun and I hope that you get something out of it. Today what I'm going to do is just do my makeup like I normally would. Nothing special or fancy. This is me without makeup. I'm just going to do a full face of makeup. As you can see, I have acne, I have dark circles under my eyes, I have fine lines, and I use makeup to try to melt it all away the best I can. I have lots of fun ideas for videos. I made a list of about 20 or 25 things, excuse me, that I want to do. Things like how to take your makeup off, what my favorite products are, what my ride or die holy grail products are, my skin routine, things like that. So I've already moisturized and primed my face and allowed those products to sink in. Today I used this NYX Angel Veil primer. So I try to do my moisturizing and priming a good hour if I can before I do my makeup, because you want those products to sink into the skin and not just sit on top, because then when you put your foundation on top, you want it to also sink into the skin. So I'm just gonna jump right into doing my makeup and we'll see how this goes. So for foundation today, I'm gonna use my Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation. This is a water foundation. It has SPF 15 in it, and the reason I like this is because it is a medium to full coverage and it doesn't sink into my dry spots. And I'm gonna use a beauty blender. The only thing I don't really like about this one is it has an applicator like this and you have to squeeze to get it. But I've already dampened my beauty blender and I'm just going to drop a few dots on. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? I'm gonna put on this guy to keep my hair out of my face. So I'm just gonna pat this on, and what you always wanna do with foundation is start with a little and build up, so that will help your makeup from being cakey. And you wanna just press the product into your skin. If you move it around, you're just moving around the product. And what you're really going for is having your foundation look like your actual skin. So I actually do go around my eye because it's so dark there. And I'm just going on one half of my face to start so that I can see if I want to add a second layer in the end. And then you also want to blend your foundation into all the way over to your ear and down your neck so that your neck matches your face. Whenever you want to choose a foundation color, you always want to match to your neck and not to your face. So if you're like me, I tend to wear SPF every day, and so that will protect my skin from the sun a little bit more. And I probably don't put enough SPF on my neck, so my neck will probably be a little more colorful, a little bit more red than my face will be. And so I want everything to match and not look like a floating head with my foundation. Okay. I kind of do it right around my lips, and to get everything covered up. This is my favorite part about watching people putting on makeup and seeing how their foundation just makes their skin look so much better. Okay, so I feel like I've got a pretty good layer there. Foundation is one of those things that I tend to get from a more high-end place. I'm just gonna do a little bit more around my problem areas. There's only a few drugstore foundations that I actually really like. Tarte tends to be one of my go-to faves for foundation. So there's a ton of products that you can get at the drugstore, which are also wonderful for all the other face products, like if you haven't been shopping lately, you may not know that the drugstore makeup game has really been awesome. So people are coming out with products that are really gonna rival things at Sephora and things at Ulta. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of concealer on my acne spots, and I'm going to use Kat Von D's Lock It Concealer Cream. This one is in the color Neutral. It looks like this. And again, I'm just gonna put it on the areas where I would like a little extra coverage. And in the end, I'm going to do some highlighting under my eyes after I do my eyes. So again, just patting this into the skin and getting it ready for hopefully a long day of wear. And again, that's another thing I really like about the Tarte is that it does tend to last all day. And Tarte foundations will run you, I think, in the $35 range. And if you can catch it at a time when there's a sale, I know on the Tarte website, they pretty much always have 20% off. So you can get, if you're gonna buy anything from Tarte, definitely get it from the Tarte website because you can get pretty much everything 20% off all the time, which is really cool. Then I'm going to do a little setting powder. Oops, and I didn't bring it over here. I just have some in the top of a jar container, and I'm just gonna pat. I'm gonna kind of make an alien face to try to get rid of any lines. I'm just gonna pat this under where I really want my makeup to stay all day. There's a lot of translucent setting powders out there. I actually have some from Laura Mercier coming in the mail in a kit. So I'll definitely be showing you guys that. This one is new to me, the RCMA No Color Powder. And it was $15 and I got it from Beautylish. And I'm planning on doing a video where I can tell you guys where I get all of my makeup and what I think are the best deals. So I'm just gonna actually let that powder sit on my face for a little bit. This is a technique known as baking, which is not something I do all the time, but you can get a translucent powder from the drugstore. I have one from Maybelline that's really good. I think pretty much all brands have one these days. And what it does is it helps lock your foundation and your concealer in place. So while that is baking, I'm going to put on some eye primer. This is the NYX High Definition Eyeshadow Base, and I got this guy at CVS. And primers for your face and for your eyes are just gonna help your makeup stay on better and longer. So you don't have to have one for your eyes. You can just put concealer around your eyes, and I find that works really well. But for your face, I would definitely recommend getting a primer. e.l.f. makes really great ones that are $6 each. And pretty much everything at the drugstore will have a great primer. Sorry. Okay, so today for eyeshadows, I've pulled out a couple of palettes. I'm gonna start with the Unique Moonstruck Addiction #1 shadow palette. And this is what's in there. So there are some matte shades, whoops, and there are some more shimmery shades. So I'm gonna start with this shade right here, which is Elated. And I'm just gonna use a flat brush. This is a Sigma E60. And I'm just gonna take this guy and put him all over my lid to set it down as a nice base for everything else. I tend to have really kind of oily lids that like to create a line, and I find that when I put down primer and I put down an initial color like this, it helps to keep that from happening. I'm actually gonna go ahead and wipe this bake away. This is a Kat Von D 25 brush. The Kat Von D setting powder is also one of my all-time faves. Okay. Just kind of wipe that away and hope that my under eyes don't crease. Okay, going back into this palette, I'm going to take a shader brush. This is an Elizabeth Mott blending brush. I got this in my Ipsy bag. Ipsy is a $10 a month subscription, and they send you a bunch of samples, and they send me brushes, and I use them all the time. I'm gonna go into this matte shade called Chipper, and I'm just gonna put some on this. I'm gonna tap off the excess. You always wanna tap, 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 blend, blend, blend. So right above where my eyeball is, I'm just going to create a little darkness in the crease. And I kind of have a lot on this brush, so I'm just gonna stick it over here. And what you wanna do is just go back and forth with windshield wiper motions. Back and forth, and you're just going to blend, blend, blend. Again, I don't know how well I'm doing this on camera. I'm so used to just kind of doing this guy on my own. So back and forth into that crease. I also take it in the outer V of the eye. And I just kind of go around and blend, blend, blend. This is kind of one of the time-consuming parts of makeup, I think. Getting that eyeshadow crease just right. And if you want to do a real smoky eye, you could do this with a darker gray or any darker color. But I really like to put only mattes in the crease because it creates that dimension to the eye. And if you do a sparkle in the crease, it just doesn't look as good. So I think I'm pretty well blended here. I'm gonna take a brush that is clean and has nothing on it for a blender, and I'm just gonna go back kind of right where I put that brown to help it blend a little bit better into the top. Just kind of making sure there's no harsh edges. And I mean, you can really just blend all day. There's really no amount of blending that is enough. Okay, next up, I'm going to try the sparkly shade of this palette. I'm gonna first go into this guy, which is called Brassy. And I'm just gonna get him real good on, this is actually my favorite eyeshadow brush. It's a Laura Mercier, nope, Bobbi Brown. I'm just gonna pick up a whole bunch of shadow on there. Again, tap off the excess. I'm gonna use a little secret trick called MAC Fix Plus. This is their newest one. And I'm just gonna give that a little spray to add some dimension. You can really use any setting spray to do this. Like right here, I have a Milani Make It Last. This one is about $10. And then I'm just going to put him all over the center of the eye. Wow, that one really showed up a lot more than I was expecting. And just like I did with the foundation, I'm just gonna tap, tap, tap it on in there. Some people like to use their fingers for this. I'm gonna take it all the way into the corner. But holy moly, I had brought out another sparkly palette that I was gonna use in case this one wasn't sparkly enough, but I think it is. Tap off the excess. I'm gonna spray them with my Fix Plus and do the same on the other side. I love golds. I feel like it works well with my hair, and I feel like golds work really well with people with brown hair too. Wow, that actually turned out really, really well. So let me see, what do I want to do next? I think I am going to add a little bit. Okay, this is the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself Eye and Cheek palette. This has, I believe it's on sale at Sephora right now. This has a whole bunch of sparkly colors. It smells like vanilla. It smells so good as soon as you open it up. And this inner color right in the middle is kind of a white highlighty shade. You can use this a bunch of different ways. Highlighters, there's no end to how you can use them. And I will be showing you some. So I'm going to pick up some on the same brush. I'm just going to tap it off. Again, I'm going to go ahead and give a spritz just to intensify it. And I'm just going to pack that guy right in the inner corner to intensify the inner corner. And that definitely worked. I'm actually going to take it all the way in. And then I'm going to take it a little bit right here under the brow bone. I feel like these lights are making me really shiny. Okay. Next, I am going to go back in with that brush that was pretty clean, and I'm just going to once again blend these lines. And I think I'm going to add a little extra darkness to my outer V. So in order to do that, I am going to take an e.l.f. eye crease brush. e.l.f. brushes are $1. You can get them CVS, Target, on their website. And I'm going to go back into this unique palette with the color Forthright. And I'm just going to dab that in there, tap off the excess, and I'm going to go in and darken this outer V with a really light touch. See how that made it a little bit more intensified? Gonna grab a little more and do the same thing on the other side. So tonight I was thinking about doing something that I've been wanting to do for many, many years. I'm going to go to an adult ballet beginner class. I don't have any ballet outfits. I'm certainly not going to wear a leotard and tights at this stage in my life. However, they said you don't have to have that for your first class and you can just go ahead and show up. So I think I'm going to do it. And maybe I'll hold myself accountable by saying it out loud here, because I really won't do it. I'd love to just sit at home and be lazy. For the bottom, I am going to take this middle one chipper on a flat angled brush. This again, oh no, this one's from ColourPop, which is another great makeup company that I've been getting into. They have a lot of really great shadows that are $5 each. So I'll definitely be doing a video on those. Then I'm going to go into, actually I'm going to come back over to the Tarte and take some of that lighter shade. The Vanilla E one, I'm going to give it a spritz just because that one's a little bit crumbly. And I'm going to stick him. I can't decide which mirror to look into. On the bottom. Probably not doing a great job with that, but hey. A for effort, I think. Okay, next I'm going to move into eyeliner, and I'm going to use this unique Moodstruck Perfection pencil eyeliner. I think this one actually is really, really nice. I usually do a wing with gel liner, but today I didn't want to go into all that. I may do a more glam video with that super glittery eye. I put up a picture a few weeks ago and do a gel liner when I do that. But for this one, I'm just going to run it along the bottom, you know what I mean, this part. Just to darken that up a little bit. I'm also going to do it under in my upper waterline. So this is a good trick if you really don't want to wear eyeliner. You can just do it under here, and that really darkens it up a little bit without being kind of a harsh line. I find that this liner is really gentle, really easy to use, and I like it. I'm gonna make just a little bit of a wing there and just darken that up. So on this side again, I'm gonna do it in the upper waterline. Sorry if I look really creepy. And then again on the top here, just gently kind of going to darken up the lash line and make just ever so slightly a wing there. Okay, let me just make sure it's even. Our eyes are cousins, not sisters. They can look a little bit different, I think. Okay, next up is mascara. I have 3 different mascaras sitting in front of me, which is pretty typical. This is a new one I've picked up also at Target this past weekend. It is CoverGirl Total Tease, and it's got a little funky edge. I don't really know how I feel about this, so I'm just gonna give it a whirl. Oh my gosh, this is kind of scary. I'm not really sure which side I'm supposed to be using. So I'm just going all around. Okay, I'm gonna use this little thingy at the end and get the outer lashes. I'm not quite sure what's happening here. And I'm gonna just re-dip and go into the other side. So I'll have to let you know how the ballet class is. Like I said, I'm afraid of it, but just like with making these videos, I find that if I kind of walk through my fear or act as if I'm not afraid of something, the fear goes away. So is there something that you're afraid of doing that's really not that big of a deal, like going to a class or starting something new? What if you actually weren't afraid of it? What would it look like to just do it, give it a shot? I love to layer mascaras, so this is a little mini Tarte Tartiste I got. And I'm just gonna go over that. I actually really liked that CoverGirl one. I'm gonna have to keep playing with that wand. Things are not looking very clumpy. They're looking nice and long. And I'm gonna hit the bottom lashes with something new I got. One of my favorite YouTube beauty gurus, Nikia Joy. Maybe I'll do a video and let you know who my top faves are. This is MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash. And I'm just gonna hit the lower ones. I'm actually not sure if I'm still in the frame, but you will see me in a second. Okay. Eyes are done. What I'm gonna do is go back in and do a little highlighting under the eyes. I'm gonna use the Instant Age Rewind Eraser Dark Circle Treatment from Maybelline. This is one of my favorite all-time drugstore concealers. I think it's just as good as anything out there. I have it in a neutralizer color and a highlighter color, so I don't actually have it in like the light, medium, dark type of thing. The neutralizer is supposed to help get rid of those dark circles, and the highlighter is supposed to highlight. So it's got this funny little tip. I'm just gonna run it back and forth, really get a good highlight going. Just highlight those parts of my face. I'm gonna take a mini beauty blender. Oh no, this one is still really wet. Okay, let me just do the big beauty blender. And I'm just gonna dab that in. I'm not gonna do any contour today because I'm just doing, so again, you wanna do just light patting motions to really pat that in. And let's be honest, I should have done this before I put on that powder. Don't tell anyone. It's really not my fave to put on anything over powder like this. and that's probably why it's having a little trouble sinking in, but we're just gonna pretend like I did it right, because that's what life's all about. Being okay with your mistakes. Yeah, see, that powder's really not making it want to settle in. Okay, let me just take this brush and kind of blend that out a little. Okay, no biggie, no biggie. Okay, face. I am pale as a ghost. This is one of my favorites. Physicians Formula Light Bronze Pearl Mineral Palette. Basically any Physicians Formula bronzer you cannot go wrong with. They are at the drugstore. I don't tend to use the little brush that comes with this one. I'm gonna use a Sigma large angled contour brush, F40. I'm just gonna swirl that guy around. I always like to find where my cheekbones are and try to go above there. Whenever you're doing contour, you always wanna stay above that cheekbone, because if not, you'll get kind of muddy looking. Okay, I'm just gonna rub this on here and be a little wild and crazy about it. I'm just gonna kind of go around, warm up the face. Might do a little bit under the chin. Uh-oh, my zits are still visible. Probably should have done another layer of concealer before I did the powder, but hey, it's gonna be okay. This is new for me. This is a little CoverGirl Cheekers. I believe it was $4. I'm in the color Classic Pink. I'm actually gonna take this little brush, run them along, and just hit the apples of my cheeks. Again, blush is something that you really don't need to go below the line of your cheekbone. I'm just gonna blend that in with I kind of put a lot on with that bronzer brush that I used. Okay, moving into highlight. Oh my gosh, I am totally obsessed with highlight. This is Jouer's powder highlighter in rose gold, and this is what it looks like. It's super pretty. I'm just gonna swirl this Real Techniques brush, and I'm just gonna take it down my nose a little on the top